Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Mana Inspiration with me, Noden Dorns. Like always, we're going to start off with the scripture. Our scripture today is John 15, verse 2. It states, "Every branch in me that does not bear fruit, he takes away, and every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes, that it may bear more fruit." Um, on that subject of bearing fruit and pruning, that's where I want to kind of talk about. Since it's towards the end of the year, a lot of people are doing, you know, yearly goals they want to start setting up. I decided to talk about more of pruning in order to grow. Are you pruning in order to grow? Now, it reminds me of the actual landscaping, pruning. Basically, I did a little study on it, and they talk about pruning above and below the node. Um, Below the node is where you're able to kind of grow it out to more. When you prune above the node, this is where you stimulate new growth. You're cutting down angles. You're actually stimulating that. And what I think it relates to is cutting off bad things in order to get make room for the good things. And I think that's kind of along where it goes. It depends on where you want to prune, though. This is where I'm saying if you want to prune to where below and you're trying to prune different areas, that's where I believe it's kind of similar. Now, the Pastor Mike at Men's Breakfast talked about pruning, and he kind of stated this phrase is letting go of things that isn't of God. Now, this is kind of where that kind of started from is what are we letting go? What are we starting to prune? What do we need to do in order to start developing that new us, that new you where you want to see yourself in the future? Now, I have a question and I wrote down the three questions. It says, what's going to stimulate your growth, in you? What's going to stimulate that? So sit back and question yourself. What do you have to cut off in order to stimulate that new growth in your life? Next one I have is what are you, what are we ignoring, or what are we needing to prune? It's kind of start thinking of what are you wasting your time on, the things that you don't need. Start asking more intelligent questions, like I always say, that I stated I got from Tony Robbins, and I use that all the time because it's kind of like a magician. He has a sword and the box, and in a lot of those angles the sword's not going in, not going in, not going in, not going in. So all of a sudden he gets one that fits. That's how I feel that we should keep going in life till we keep pruning to see what we're happy with, to see what is that growth that we want to achieve. Now, a lot of people said, including myself, I said it, that's just the way I am. I don't think that's true because we can always change who we are. It's not who we are or, it's the way I am. It's just what you're used to. It's what you visualize as you've seen. What I always say is, what are you visualizing yourself in the future? That's where you're able to capitalize on the new growth. Because if you're pruning and you're cutting off, if you don't have that new direction, you tend to go right back to the same things that you were doing prior. And that's just a repeated cycle. All of a sudden, you start going right back. You change and then you go right back. You change and then you go right back. This is where, if we develop a game plan, a strategy, then we're able to eliminate that hazardous where you're just spinning and you feel like you're not going anywhere. Maybe some of you feel that way now. This is where I think it's time to take one step at a time to start bettering ourselves, to learn. That's why I think we need to do is, it's not what you know, it's time to learn. I think that's number one is always see that, I always say that I don't know it all. This is where I'm a student to everything. So if I feel like I'm a know it all, I apologize. But I'm just trying to learn as I go. And, you know, just like anybody else, you just got to keep pushing until you get it down right. That's why I'm continuously doing these videos. That's why I'm continuously trying to better my speaking to reach somebody out there. That way I can articulate a message that they understand and they relate to, and it helps them in the time of need. Because there was messages I listened to that helped me in the time of need when I didn't have anybody to talk to. So I'm trying to reach out and do the same thing. Now, I would say, how do we take action? And I read a list of things of time to. Okay. Now it's time to let go. It is time to restructure. It is time to grow. Time to take action. And it's time to learn. I think with all those, we're able to continuously keep going because if you're letting it going, you're restructuring, you're trying to get that action, to get that growth, to also learn along the way to develop more growth and be able to help more people. Um, I heard this and it says step into new levels. I think that's what we need to do, including myself. You have to set the standard, raise the bar. Set your standard, raise the bar. I think that's the only way we're able to just keep that progress. And progress equals happiness. So if we continue that progress, I think there's nothing that we won't strive to do, strive to be, and strive to achieve. Now, I heard this phrase and it says, knowledge is power. So if knowledge is power, then learning is your superpower, my superpower. And I think that's where we need to develop more time into is learning, developing who we are. You know, Listen to other people. There's multiple people out there that talk about multiple subjects. Everything from a vulnerability like Brene Brown to finding your purpose like Tony Robbins. You have Eric Thomas. You have the other old school guys like Zig Ziglar, Dr. Norman Vincent Peale. You have newer ladies like Mel Robbins, um, Lisa, I forget her last name, but basically there's so many options out there that you can choose your liking and start reaching that new you, that new development, that new growth. Um, on that note, I do want to thank you for supporting Mana Inspiration. Like, subscribe, share this message with others. That way, we're able to help one another spread a community, basically, or get a community of people where we're just kind of supporting each other, giving more faith, more hope for our dreams, our hope, where we want to go, achieve everything. I also want to give prayers out to all the states that the tornadoes went through, including the state that my daughter and her mom, Nawana, is in, Kentucky and Bowling Green. I pray for everybody out there. I send everything, that everything will be okay. You guys will revitalize and be able to come back even stronger. But I love my baby, Jalen. Love you, Nawana. You guys stay safe. I love everybody out there, and I love you for supporting this message. Aloha. You guys have a blessed week. And again, thank you. You guys have a good day. Take it easy.